Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Miss Brandie Janow, and who is joining us here in the studio today. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank y'all for having me.
It's our honor and pleasure. Brandie, I've known you for a while, and you've been in Saudi for a good 16 years.
A little while.
Yes. And you've grown into a symbol of design in Saudi. Tell me about your journey to the design industry and what makes you in so design oriented.
That's a question I'm still waiting to figure out too. Let's see. I would say that whenever I was young, I always wanted to do something creative. I grew up in the Appalachian Mountains of East Tennessee. I didn't really know what there was in the world because obviously we don't hear about all the things going on in the arts and the design industries. I wanted to be a fashion designer. It's all I knew about. And so I went to a private school in Chicago for design. That's where I started. My first semester was fashion design. I was horrible at it. I couldn't sew. I couldn't do any of these things. So then I found out about design strategy, which was the business side of the design industry. And I've been doing it ever since. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Came to Saudi when they were building the design industry and they needed somebody like me, and I've been doing it ever since.
I remember hearing from the first time I heard the terms Saudi Design Week.
Yeah, me too.
That was all things that you were a part of.
These are all things that I was a part of.
This was so many years ago.
I've been one of there was a lot of people before me. I don't want to say that I led it or I'm the first or anything like that. There was so many people, the OGs, I think, that were doing things way before we were even born. So, I have a lot of respect for those people. We just had a little more light shed on us and the stage to do more things.
So, Brandie, when it comes to design in Saudi Arabia, an area that you've grown, lots of expertise in over the years and experience, I might add. What are some Saudi aesthetics when it comes to design?
It's a great week to ask this question. As you know, the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, just implemented some new architecture styles across Saudi Arabia. But I will say, on a different perspective, that I think one of the worst things that I've seen happen, as somebody that's been here a long time, like you've said, a lot of people do blueprints. If you look at European design, American design, and when I say design, I don't mean just architecture, design languages, graphic design, textile design. A lot of people kind of try to come here and to put their spin on things about how it is in their country. I think this is probably something really great about Saudi is that it's kind of starting from a blank page. It's not blank in the terms that it hasn't been done, but it's not really been documented. It's really great to kind of see everybody step up and do that with the Salmani.
Tell me. So what do you think people should be aware about when it comes to design? I mean, you're hosting, events, you're giving talks, you are a panelist in a lot of discussions. What's so important about design to where you dedicate essentially your career to it?
Yes. Well, I think that design is the most powerful industry in the world. I think it's the biggest role, and this is also why I mentor designers. I think I always try to show designers that the power they have. I mean, a lot of people don't think about design in a sense of everyday objects. You might think of it as a logo. You might think about it as the rug or this piece that I'm wearing. But think about the things for your daughter. Think about her having a car seat that keeps her safe. Think about a wheelchair for somebody that can't walk. Think about people that maybe were born with a medical condition. Designers create things that make them feel human, and they don't feel like, hey, I don't belong here. I'm part of the world too. It doesn't look like a medical device. You know what I mean? This is the power of design. And the red lights in the street. If we don't have red light, what happens? We have wrecks. So design is pretty powerful. Every little thing you look around has been designed by somebody with an intentional experience for you.
Amazing. And what drew you most to the world of design?
It's funny. I don't know. I think it's like in life what makes anything that we do. What led us to know one another? What led me to this room? It's just a sequence of events that happen, and you just, I guess, go along the path and the journey. I always wanted to be a designer. I didn't know about the world of design like I know now. I was one of the people that thought that there was like fashion design, or that's like the end of the story. So as I grew and got into it, I realized, and most of that happened here in Saudi. I was a young designer. I had never worked anywhere. I'd never really done anything. And I kind of molded into what the country needed. They needed somebody to teach design. They needed someone to grow the industry, to build the ecosystem. So this is kind of what I was molded to be by the country.
Amazing. So you are always been an enabler and a catalyst. And so when we talk about enablers and catalysts, we often can imagine their role in a design ecosystem. And so tell me, how do you approach designing ecosystems in a way that balances the creative spirit of cultural sectors with the practices of business and policy?
I think that with many different things, as you know, I do a lot of research. Hold a lot of research sessions. I think that whenever you do ethical research, you find your answers right there. It's simple. What do the people need? What do the people want? People continue showing up and doing things. It's working. If they don't, it's probably not working, and you kind of need to change things. I think every country is different. What we're doing here is different from anything else in the world. We're building a civilization in real time. We're doing it quick. We have to work fast. I don't think that people understand the amount of work that we do every day. Every single one of us is building at an immense rate. So I think that's exactly what that is. We're building and designing an ecosystem.
So tell me about the ecosystem. What is it? What do you envision it doing? How is it serving people? How is it serving the community?
Are you talking about just design?
For instance.
Okay. If you're talking about design, all of the many things that we just talked about, think about, let's think about people that may have social anxiety. I saw this cafe in Japan, and it was a lot of people that worked there that had social anxiety, or maybe they were born a little different from other people, and they want a job. They want to take care of themselves, but they don't necessarily have what we do or want to do something like this. Like you, for example, you're very social. So they designed this cafe, and it has like a little hole in the wall, and they wear a bear arm. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I've seen this before.
And they give the coffee to people. But I think this is so nice, because this is what design does. Design creates things for other people. Now, the world has a blueprint of people, and they say that you have to be this way. This is how a normal person is, or this is how this kind of person is. I think that this is the worst thing that the world's done. And I think this is actually something really great about Saudi and us actually being able to build now, is we don't have to stick to these blueprints. This is what designing an ecosystem is. It's about building something for everyone.
Not only is it the way we interact with our immediate surroundings, with people, It could also be objects. It could be our environments. It can be our workspaces, learning areas.
Absolutely. Everything. I mean, there's nothing one of the things that I think about often, I'm sure that you've seen on social media, where somebody goes home and there's like a bear swimming in their pool. I mean, maybe this is silly or funny to watch, but why is a bear in your pool? Why is a bear in your backyard? You know, it's sad. We've taken everything, and now the animals don't have anywhere to go. And this is a human problem, and it's up to designers to start fixing these issues before we take everything. You know, humans take up about 0.1% of everything in the ecosystem.
Wow.
And do you know how much we've taken? An insane amount. Oh, the coral reef is dead. Look at what we've done to the ocean. Trash is a huge problem. The number one problem in the world is poverty, but it's also funny, the other number one problem is food wastage. Mm-hmm. I mean,
so we have like
these are
issues.
Design exactly, yes. But these are design issues. There's people that are doing more things with design than just, you know, things
but Brandie,
that you think about.
Isn't that like an endless cycle? For instance, now, in order to bring food that's clean, hygienic, and, for instance, durable, has a long time, like lifetime on the shelf life. Yeah, I put these things in plastic, right?
Yeah.
I put them in tins, I put them in plastic. And now you're saying, well, look, all the things that we designed are all over the world, and look how devastating.
It's true.
Human design.
Hey, it's true. And this is why, and I mean, I even think like this, it's human nature to think to when you start seeing all the issues. This is why sometimes things like the news can kind of bring you down, because you're like, oh, there's so many things, I just won't do anything. And you do like think about the straws. Now I'm not like the big recycle person. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have those. If things were easier, I'm sure that people would do those options, but they're just, there's a lot of things to look at, to work on. And I think that as long as there's probably one person really riding the crusade of that ship and teaching others, and we all kind of got our hat to wear in the world for these initiatives.
What are some key indicators or metrics do you rely on to gauge whether these ecosystems are truly resilient and sustainable? And we're talking about ecosystems in which designers are enabled to really, I hate this cliche, but get out of the box.
I
saying?
also hate that.
But I think it does do a good job of helping people, another design cliche, break the mold. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And kind of do what they really want to do, or work on the things that are very meaningful to them. Yeah.
Well, that's a loaded question. So I'll go back to talk about research. This is why research is important. I mean, I've had many research sessions. I've published many research papers and roundtable reports about the Saudi creative sector, about design. I just had a big event on design, and afterwards I had some research sessions with the speakers who are all doing amazing things in the field here in Saudi. Things like this are important because if I learned anything, many times I, as Brandie, think something, and then I talk to people or ask them in the research because I'm like, I want them to prove that I'm right. It's the way we are. And then I'm like, it's the opposite. Like, they all love something that maybe I dislike, and I'm like, okay, well, it reminds you that it's not about you. And that just because you've decided something, that's not the way it is. So this is why the research is always important. You have to continue doing research, ethical research. It's easy to do research and guide it kind of your way and your kind of thinking, but you can't do that. But creating these ecosystems and building it, that's why it's really important to continue to do the research, continue asking the questions, continue getting the research, because it's going to tell you everything you need to know. What's not working? What is working?
But what are some, from your research, what are some healthy indicators? Like, how do we know that the ecosystem or the design ecosystem that we've created is actually serving designers and serving people who are benefiting from designers?
Well, I think that there is a lot of pockets. And within design, I'm going to talk about specifically in Saudi because that's where I do my work.
That's what you know.
That's what I know, exactly.
That's what you know.
So I will tell you here that there is pockets. So if I am at work talking to maybe junior designers, and they're asking questions like, well, we think this should be done, or this isn't getting done, or why not? They're confused because they don't understand about what's going on. But one thing I realized, I just did a big, at one of the universities here, they had a design discussion roundtable with every design director and every giga project in Saudi Arabia. They were talking about things that were happening, and I realized all of these questions are actually already being implemented, but they can't really talk about it until the projects are finished. It's all happening, but there's kind of... I get it. There's kind of the wires are crossed because you can't really talk about things in private projects that are still being built. So I think that there's just a little confusion right now because things are being built still. They're not done. They're not ready, but they are. They know, and it's coming.
They're going in that direction.
Absolutely.
Is what you're saying to us.
I've heard some amazing things.
We have yet to see.
We will.
There's
a lot happening. We will.
100%.
It's coming.
So you've led diverse initiatives and advised institutions across academia and the government and industry. What patterns have you noticed in the challenges or the pain points that consistently arise in cross-sector collaborations?
So, funny enough, now I am on advisory boards with different design universities globally. We're going out of Saudi a little bit now. And so one thing I realized is they all have the same problems. It's not a Saudi thing. It's not an American thing. It's not like a British thing. Everybody has issues. Everybody has the problems. It's a global thing, you know.
Tell me about design as a change agent. How does design bring about change? Is it the change is this like a chicken and egg thing? Is it like design causes change, or is it change that's enabling newer, better designs? What is the relationship between design and change?
I think that's a question we would like to know for everything in the world. We would all like to know that answer. I mean, I was watching a movie not long ago, and they were talking about science, and it was scientist. And he was working on a huge project for a long time. This was his life work. And he finally stopped doing it. He was just tired because he was working on theories and everything, and it never was happening. And one of his assistants, she was like, "Why are you quitting?" He was like, "I'm not quitting." He was like, "I'm stopping the work so that somebody in the future can pick it up, because that's what scientists do." And I was kind of like, it's the same with design or anything really. I don't think we ever stop the work. Sometimes we pause it. Somebody comes along 5, 10, 20 years. They open an archive of documentation, document your work and everything happening. And they pick it up and they make it into something magnificent. I mean, if you look at anybody that ever invented anything, the people who probably got the credit isn't probably even the people that started it. So I think that's something great about the world, about building anything.
What about, so this is like kind of cathedral thinking.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we don't see the end product yet. We put a lot of effort into making an imagined end product.
Yeah. Well, there's different people. There's people that need to see the end product because it's something important to them and their thinking. It's more about them than the product or the impact that they're doing. People who actually care about the impact and the product themselves or itself, they probably don't care as much about getting the credit for something. It's life. We're a work in progress forever. I mean, our grandparents, our parents, us, children, grandchildren, that's what it is about. It's never really about one of us or one thing in time.
Brandie, when it comes to your work,
yeah,
what are some things that you've worked on that you're really, really proud of?
I would say that I'm proud of all of the things that I've done. Whenever you asked me to be on the podcast, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about how I ended up here, how your journey's starting, and then talking about your work one day. It's so fast to get here. Time goes by quickly. And I was thinking about when I first decided that I wanted to start talking about things, because I remember I was doing a lot of work and no one was really ever asking me about the work. And I was kind of like, but this is exciting, or I want to talk about this. But then I told myself, why would anybody know you're doing this work? Like, who are you? Nobody knows who you are. No one knows. It's not like a magic person's going to walk in and, understand everything. You have to start talking about it. You have to start being vocal if you want the work to matter. Now, I don't like necessarily to sit on stage with microphones or talk about things, but if I don't, somebody else is going to be talking for me. They're going to be my voice, and they're probably not going to say the proper, correct things. So it's important to have a voice. I think about whenever I started with this little online. I searched on Google something like about how to mentor or mentors or something about design. And I found this brand new site that had just launched. I think I was like the third person on it. Not they have like hundreds of thousands. It's been bought out. It's a big deal. But whenever I started it wasn't really about wanting to mentor. I just kind of was like, I want to kind of put it on my CV. I want to look like I know what I'm talking about. It was very, it was all about me at that moment. And I realized whenever I would do these sessions with these designers, young designers, some of them were older than me, and it actually was so important in my journey because I realized how to talk to people, how to answer questions. I started doing an hour sessions to where I only needed 20 minutes because I knew the questions to ask. I knew how to just talk about design and to grow people. I learned what I'm good at and what I'm probably not so good giving advice about. That was important. That's how I kind of started everything. From then, I went to LinkedIn. I had to go to LinkedIn for my job because they wanted me to know about everything that was going on. Started talking about design. This is kind of before LinkedIn was really cool here in Saudi. And I was one of the first people. I don't know anybody else who was talking about design here. And so that was really important. I started getting noticed for talking about these things. And through that, I got asked, we're coming to Saudi, a big initiative, and we'd like you to be the chairwoman of the event. All of these little things was like a domino effect, and I was like, man, you want me to do this? And then it just started being where I'm talking about these kinds of things all the time. So every little thing mattered. Some that seem so insignificant or silly, it mattered. It taught me how to have a voice. It taught me how not to be shy. It taught me how to actually give real feedback. I think the most important thing that it taught me, nobody listens to you to listen to you. Nobody cares. People can be very narcissistic, thinking, people want to hear me. Or no, people want to learn from you. Mm-hmm. They want to grow. Maybe it's a designer that wants to do these same things. So it's really important to teach them, to give them knowledge, not just to talk.
And when it comes to design, Brandie, like when you talk about design and your work, I'm thinking about like Brandie has a pencil behind her ear, sheets of paper, lights, she's standing and just... That's not design.
Do you know the little emoji with the girl behind the laptop?
Yes.
That's Brandie. Picture that. That's me all day long.
So that's design.
That's my design. Now, I know many people here in the design industry, as you know many of them probably too. They're on the ground, architects, interior designers. Now, they're more like this. I'm more in the business, the document, the paper. Everybody always tells me, Brandie and her documents.
Tell me, the design, what impact does design have on a culture? Or what is the relationship between
the greatest
design and culture?
Tell me, Josh, whenever you think of Saudi culture, tell me the 5 things that pop in your head.
Wow. I always think about, of course, Mecca and Medina.
Okay.
I think about dates.
Okay.
I think about incense.
Okay.
I think about camels.
Okay. Of course. So those were great answers. Let's talk about Mecca and Medina first. One of the greatest stories in history of being design diplomacy.
Yes.
I think about at a time when people were going to the Kaaba, people were doing Umrah, they were doing Hajj. There was no computers. There was no walkie-talkies. There was no phones. It was running like that. It was running smooth. That's design diplomacy. That, how many different people from all over the world are coming together, speaking to each other. What a story. This is the true heart of design diplomacy.
What is that though? Design diplomacy.
Design diplomacy.
You said it like as if we all know what that is. Well, that's just 1 + 1 = 2, Joshua.
So design diplomacy, it's something that brings humans together. Think of a park, again, like Mecca. You know how many cultures go there every year?
Hundreds, exactly.
Do you know how many conversations they have? Hi,
millions.
Where are you from? That's design. They were brought together. Diplomacy. I'm sure you know good and well what this means. This is the cultures learning from one another. And every time that the pilgrims are in Mecca, here in Saudi, and they have a good experience because of all of those things, that's diplomacy for Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. So look at the other things that you said, tamar, camels, all of these kinds of things. It's also become like whenever you see an icon of Saudi, what do people use? They use the sword, they use the palm tree, they use the camel. These are all design.
Yes.
So everything about culture is about design.
So
it's hand in hand.
Design's being inspired by culture.
Absolutely.
So tell me,
I feel like culture is design, design is culture.
Culture is design, and design is culture.
Think of this. Look, this is a beautiful Arab-made embroidery.
Mm-hmm.
This is their traditional colors. Somebody made this. I'm wearing this here on this because it's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
This is a design. Maybe for you see just a little shawl.
Yes.
But somebody's going to see this and they're going to be like, oh my gosh.
So it's also
my grandmother
yes.
used to make something like this.
Yes.
It's going to tell a story. It's going to do a connection. These are the beautiful things that design can do for humans.
So design's also, by your definition, is also communicating some sort of values.
Absolutely.
And perhaps the design is like has to do with like left-handedness. This is a problem that I had when I was young. Is I was left-handed when I was young, and my teachers and my community guided me towards right-handedness.
So are you right-handed now?
Well, now I'm right-handed.
So it worked.
But I used to like eat and write and stuff like that with my left hand, and then it was of course not deemed proper. So then I switched to my right. But I noticed that the world is designed for people with right hand users.
You're figuring it out naturally.
Yes.
You're getting everything that I'm saying.
Yes.
Take this into mind. Right. Now, kids people are more open and they understand these things and they're trying to design things so that they fit in. Again, the world has put us in a box. I mean, even the education system around the world, it's one education system. Now, I was really, I was bored in my school growing up. And then whenever I went to Chicago, I flourished. And I realized I had been put in that same box. Arabic is a beautiful language. You obviously know it very well. Mashallah. But look at the letter Ha, for example. I was at this beautiful art exhibit in Ithra maybe 7 years ago. And the piece was about the letter Ha and about how it is changed over time. And it was just so gorgeous to see how letters change, sound changes, language changes. This is design. Design changes things. So it's a really broad term. I understand that, and I understand people don't know what they don't know. I mean, it's my thing, so I know. I try to teach people when I can. It's so interesting, all of these things, the evolution of language, the evolution of clothes. They weren't wearing a blue polo 100 years ago. You know what I mean? Women wearing pants was frowned upon not too long ago, So things evolve, designs evolve. Why do they evolve? Different things happening. Christian Dior, look at him in the fashion industry for America. Women dress completely different. He brought this beautiful feminine elegance to women in a time where there had been war and people didn't have money to wear nice things, and he kind of revived fashion. He brought it into this beautiful, elegant thing that women still see today. The nice hats, the blazers, these gorgeous things. It evolved.
Kind of the reinvented Queen Elizabeth vibes.
Yeah.
That they used to have.
Everything is these pieces. And the funny thing about life is, you know how that they say that for a grass to grow green, sometimes you have to burn it all down so it can come back. There's so many things going on. It can be quite overwhelming at times, but
perhaps design will come save the day.
But that's good.
Like
that's
it did
growth.
for the roads, for instance. Now, wherever you're driving in the road, if you see a number on the side of the road, that means that's a speed limit, most likely.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? If you see somebody on top of a horse, it means a horse crossing.
We're talking about signs and stoplights. We all know wherever we go, we don't have to speak Arabic or read Arabic to get a gist. A red light means stop. Yellow and black means caution.
Yes.
This is a world design language. It's so interesting. I mean, you can just sit and think about things forever. I was thinking about, so one of my favorite things in the design world is ceilings. I love ceilings. Like if you go to Italy and you see the old architect forms have these gorgeous ceilings. And I often go home and the ceilings are just so low. Thank God Arabic houses have higher ceilings. But I feel almost claustrophobic after living in Saudi where there's higher ceilings. And I go in and the ceiling's low. And I was sitting there thinking one day, why does nobody care about designing ceilings anymore? And I thought about phones. I thought about social media. And I thought, like, we're just so oversaturated with everything anymore. We don't lay and we don't sit. We don't read books. We don't think. We're just always looking down on our phone. Why would anybody spend hundreds of thousands to design a ceiling anymore? It's kind of sad, though.
It is sad. It is sad. But, I mean, at the same time, it's like, I'm kind of weary about blaming our mobile devices for all of our problems.
Well, we created them, so.
Designers created them.
It's true.
Well, some companies,
designer created it.
some companies contended that they were the world's best designers. No?
I mean, there's good and bad in everything. I mean, how amazing is it that if somebody, God forbid, somebody in your family back home is sick, I instantly know about it. I don't have to wait for, a pigeon courier. These are amazing, great things in the world. Something happens in another country, we get to know instantly. Now, these are great things about design. Of course, there's downsides, which I don't have to tell anybody about those.
We already know.
Keep it positive.
Yeah, you already know. Tell me about community building.
Okay.
And knowledge sharing.
All right.
This is a place where I personally engage and interact with you almost daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
It's true, you really do.
This is it. This is it right here. This is it.
And you still not got tired of me, so.
And I'm still not sick of you. There you go. And that might be some design things as well. So you did this group called Kingdom Creatives. Mm-hmm. It's not a company. It's not like a...
It's a community. Strictly community CSR.
It's just a CSR kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And you've created a collaborative space that functions as a think tank.
Yep.
Okay? So what practices or structures within that community most successfully spark innovation and shared learning? So anybody could go create a digital group.
Anybody can.
Anybody can.
Yep.
But what you've made is an actually functioning community. That community is powerful. I'm not saying it just because it's your community.
No,
that platform, those digital communities are very, very powerful. Yeah. And I think they're the future when it comes to how are people going to interact online. It used to be like social, quote unquote, social media where just one person's really just blabbing at other people. But these digital communities, I think, are the future. I want to know, what did you do specifically to make such a lively, effective, cohesive community digitally?
Well, you're right.
Because it started as a WhatsApp group.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And it still is. But the thing is, one of my friend told me early on, because it's easy to get busy. Like I said, we're all busy building. We're all busy. We care about the work that we do. We care about people. So you get really tired sometimes. And planning activities and stuff, it can seem so exhausting and tiring. My friend told me, she was like, Brandie, if you don't start doing things, it's not going to be a community. It's going to be a WhatsApp group. And I kind of always keep that in my head. And I'm like, she's absolutely right. So you have to actively do things. It's a full-time job. I put a lot into it. Leading a community, it's not for everybody. Not everybody can, you cannot let your bias into play. Maybe there's somebody you don't necessarily like. Still have to be kind to them because it's not about you. A community it's not the Brandie Show. It's not about me. One thing I learned very early on, have boundaries. If things start getting out of control, say, no, you can't do this. You have to have boundaries. People will respect the boundaries. If not, they can leave. They're not the kind of people that we're looking for. They're not the members that we want there. You have to not only have boundaries, but you have to make sure that you keep on point. We're a creative community, so there's many things that we don't talk about. It'll kind of change the vibe of the community. You also have to make sure that everybody feels included. People feeling included is incredibly important. Even like whenever we were doing the website design, I did a poll. What color background should we have for the white or the black? Now, I knew what I wanted. And the designer told me, who's also in our group, he was like, this is how you designed it. This is how you wanted it. And I'm like, I know, but this is the community's website. And they need to feel like, actually, we voted for that color. Thankfully, they voted for what I liked. But these little things, they matter because it goes from being like the boss to community.
Being the enabler, right.
These things are incredibly important, you know. Even like if we do talks or things like this, I don't speak. I don't try to talk or take the show. I give other people the space to do that. I've had my time in the sun, so to say. So it's a lot of work, and you will have people that push the buttons a little bit, but still be kind, be nice, be diplomatic, have your boundaries. You need to know how to talk to people. I would say diplomacy is probably the most important thing, just knowing how to. And we were talking about this earlier. You need to know how to speak to people from different genders, different religious backgrounds,
different socioeconomic
different, all of these things, you know. We respect all of the holidays. We don't mind telling each other Eid Mubarak, Merry Christmas, because we're different people and we care about one another in those sense. Does it mean that maybe we are going into different religious territories? No, we're humans and we're kind and we're good. And this is what good people say. Good people respect you and your culture and your religious beliefs. And so we don't go deeper than that, but I think diplomacy and just being kind and making sure people are part of things, these are incredibly important.
So we got to hear from Brandie the designer.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested in Brandie the community organizer as well.
Sometimes I feel like that's my main thing anymore.
I mean, I do too. I do too. I mean, and I mean that in the kindest way possible.
Yeah.
You are leading a very powerful, very relevant organization, and a lot of people are benefiting from this organization.
Absolutely.
How do you not lose interest? Like, I would say, for instance, members of this group are benefiting from each other more than I'm benefiting from them. Why should I still enable you to benefit?
I understand, and people tell me all the time, you should do this or you should do that. And, you know, I would say the one thing that I really realized the past maybe 8 years, don't make quick decisions. Don't say what you think very quick. Let yourself have time to marinate. That's been really important for everything. And the design, I will say, I think that I've been able to do this so well because of design. You design communities, you design groups, even what people don't even notice. Whenever I have an event, I design the event. For example, if it's something for research, I want people to be comfortable, so I'll make sure they have comfortable chairs. I'll make sure that they have coffee. If I want people to come in and network and leave fast, I put standing tables. I make sure that there's pathways for people to walk in, all of these little things. This setup here has been designed so that we look better than we do.
Well, speak for yourself, Brandie. So the idea, and the reason why I want to explore this digital community aspect with you is because I think a lot of people are starving for community. I think people are lonely.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to go and just blame the mobile devices because because it's the same device now that I'm saying is making people feel lonely. Is what's also going to be the fix here is, hey, get on your phone, call somebody.
Yeah.
Get on your phone, text somebody. Get on your phone, join one of these online communities. Yeah. And really, me personally, I've benefited a lot from online communities. And so I want to know, what drove you to want to make your own online digital community?
It's a great question. I was thinking about this. Actually, the other day, somebody asked me a similar question, and I like to reflect and think about things. It's interesting how did I get here? Because sometimes you just do things and you don't really take time to be like, why do I do this? Or how did I get here? Like, how did this happen?
And if you could believe it, I wasn't so social when I was very young. And my father, bless his heart, he was always trying to push me into these communities, whether it be through football. I used to be a big...
And now we follow you, Josh. So
American football player,
Dad paid off.
Dad kind of knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And the incentives were too silly to mention here. But like the being on the football team, being in the Boy Scouts...
important.
Extremely important. Belonging to a spiritual religious group, belonging to like a business group, but I want to know, I started an NGO in Saudi, the Saudi Botanical Society, but I'm working with people to work on things that don't talk back to us. Do you know what I'm saying? They communicate with us in a very, very, very different way.
That might be better.
That might be better.
It could be better.
But I want to know, I mean, as a founder of a community like this, what's in it for you?
So I want to go back a little bit, because I know that I started telling you how I kind of got here, but a lot of people might not remember this. It might shine a light bulb when you hear this, but I had a community before Kingdom Creatives.
I'm not saying you don't.
I had Riyadh Coffee Club.
I remember.
Do you remember the coffee club?
I remember cooperating with you on it.
So I had Riyadh Coffee Club. That was before Kingdom Creatives.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder, what is the incentive to create a community? Why are you creating this community?
Now, I will say I've always been a community.
Are you gatekeeping?
I'm not gatekeeping. You see, I give all the information. Maybe I should gatekeep a little bit. I'm kidding. But I don't know. I mean, I truly enjoy it. I get to go out. I mean, maybe it is vain, but I love it, and I love the people, and for me, it's great. I enjoy going. We had our iftar last week. Over 100 people, about 150. We had 9 tables filled with food from every country you could imagine. People were taking they just got up and started doing things. Somebody was passing out dates. Somebody was passing out bottles of Zamzam water. How nice. We built this. People feel included. People feel safe. We're taking pictures. People jump in to take a picture. Now, a lot of people will be shy, like, oh, I don't really know this person. I feel happy when somebody that jumps in, they feel comfortable and they feel safe. That's my incentive. We're all smiling and laughing. I'm here by myself. I don't have any family here. This has become great for me. I have people, I can always count on them. Anytime I have anything, they show up. I have big incentives that they've given me. I don't need money from Kingdom Creatives. I have a job. I have a full-time job. I like my job. One thing, when you start making things about money, you start losing a love for it. Also, when you start making things about money, you really have to show up and be consistent and constant. What I like about Kingdom Creatives, and this is also where I've seen a lot of communities fail, a lot of communities try to do things like maybe every week or constantly over and over and over. Now, no one ever knows when we're going to have something. I'm just drop it in there. We're having something in 2 weeks. And people feel excited because I haven't oversaturated our meetings, or I try to do something different every time. A little mystery is always a good thing.
All right, Brandie, 20 years from now, what impact do you want your legacy to be on all the work that you did, and all the lives that you affected, and all the people you engaged with?
Okay, so I don't think about legacy in the usual sense. I think about all the things that we're building together. I'm going to get some things right. I'm going to get many things wrong. But I'm sure in the future somebody's going to come in and take what I've done and build it even stronger, better, and in ways that I probably never even imagined. I think that's the greatest gift we can leave in the world.
Amazing. So an unsolved puzzle is what the greatest gift we could leave for people in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Brandie Janow. She's an expert in design, and she is also an expert in online communities, digital communities.
And
Thank
legacy.
you so much.
I'm kidding.
Thank you so much for being here on the podcast with us. This is Artifact, ladies and gentlemen, and we hope to see Brandie again.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure, as always, Josh. You and your amazing team. I appreciate it, and I hope that everybody enjoyed it. Bye, y'all.
Lola FM. The sound of a radio.